G'day, Adrian here for Wollongong TV. Today we have a special edition of Wollongong TV. I'm joined with Shaz from Neeta Feed and Julie from the Homeless Hub and Wollongong Emergency Housing. Welcome to the show.
Hi Adrian, thank you.
It's a great pleasure to have you guys here, and this is something that's very dear to me. The last number of years I've had the pleasure of meeting both Shaz and yourself, Julie, and we've done a number of things together in the past. But this is I guess a more special promotion, a special donation, because we're raising awareness and we're raising some serious funds for the homeless people in the Illawarra. So if we can start with you, Shaz, if you can just tell everyone what's Neeta Feed, how did it come about, and just let everyone know what it is that you do.
Okay, well what we do at Neeta Feed is we partner with different organisations for the greater good, so we can connect everyone together and we can supply emergency food relief.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I started Neeta Feed because of my own situation years ago. We were struggling financially, and I decided that when my circumstances were different, I was going to do something to help people in the same situation, those people who need food support. So I started Neeta Feed around 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And have fed thousands of people. And partnering with you guys helps to spread the word and feed more people, so it's really good. Love it.
And it's such a pleasure to work with you both, but I know we've worked in the past with on a number of occasions, and I mean, this is something, like I said, is very dear to me, and I remember particularly this last month or two, because we've had so much rain, we've had so much cold weather, and you know, for all of us, it's just a natural thing to take advantage or to feel privileged that we're just at home and we're watching the TV, and if it's cold we put a jumper on or we put the heater on and things like that, and we haven't really considered that there are so many people out there that don't have a roof over their heads for various reasons. So if we can go to you, Julie, tell us about the Homeless Hub, tell us about Wollongong Emergency Housing and what it does.
Okay, so emergency housing has been around for 30 years, and we provide supported accommodation to homeless families. Last year there was a little bit of a change, and we lost some of our houses and they went to another agency, so potentially we did lose over half of our housing.
Right.
We were never able to house all the people who came to emergency family housing looking for accommodation, and what we started to do was work about 7 years ago with those, offering outreach support to them. So helping them one-on-one find housing. And then 2 years ago, in October 2013, we opened the hub as an extension of emergency family housing up in Crown Street, and we knew that it was a service that they needed, a drop-in service that met all their needs, so we could put them through into refuges or find boarding houses for people. But what we found, that people were coming to us and they needed really practical assistance. They needed a shower, they needed a place where they could store their belongings, and they needed food, and they needed food parcels and just that assistance to get them through. So in the Illawarra there's over 1,500 individuals who are homeless on any given night. Now they could be in a specialist homeless services such as Wollongong Emergency Family Housing, youth refuges, women's refuges, fleeing domestic violence. Homelessness is something that doesn't happen to a certain group of people, it happens to all people in our community. I myself could be only months away from being homeless. If I became ill and could not sustain my job, then my life would quickly unravel. And this is what happens to people.
Yeah, and I think that's a really valid point. I think I'm very guilty of this, particularly in the past, when you think about homeless people and particularly these types of situations, and you know, now that we're raising awareness and raising funds, that, I mean, let's be honest, you think that maybe they're a lower form of society, or they've done something bad to be there. You know, I think there's a real misconception in the public that they're the people that we're trying to fund. We're funding habits and things like that. So it's not really that case, because from my experience with you, I know when we did the Easter drive last year, where we bought some food and we got heaps of Easter eggs and
Yep.
things like that. Like, that wasn't for adults, it was for children.
Yes.
You know? So what are the sort of families or scenarios that you've had to experience, or can you tell us a bit more about that?
So of those 1,500 people who are homeless on any given night, almost 50% of those people are children.
Wow.
So that's children under the age of 24 or under the age of 16. So for every homeless family you've got, you may have 2 or 3 children attached to that family.
Yeah.
So there are lots of children who are homeless and people don't see them. These people are the hidden homeless because apart from occasions, and it does happen, where people have to sleep in their cars, whole families sleep in their cars, the rest are staying in very overcrowded conditions in families' houses. They're sleeping on the sofas, sleeping on mattresses on the floor, which can put a lot of strain on those families and those relationships. And with all the overcrowding, those relationships can fall down, and that's when people come to us and say, look, we just can't stay with mum and dad, grandpa, grandma anymore. We need to find somewhere of our own. And it could be that sometimes it's people who do have one member of their family working, and I call those people the working poor because they're still struggling even though they may have an income.
Yeah, it reminds me of a scenario that I saw a lady in the mall, and she had loads of bags around her, and I heard a story from another friend who approached her one day and just said, look, did you want some money, or things like that, and she actually said, no, look, I've got money, I just can't afford to pay for the bills, pay for rent, pay for food and all those things on top of that. And so her only option was and she literally has 7 or 8 bags that she carries around everywhere. She's obviously moving into many locations, but my heart really goes out to those sorts of people. It's not like the world's getting any cheaper to live in, and if you can, that's only amplified when you think about that a whole family would be in that scenario. So I think that's something that I think everyone should be aware of, is that there doesn't have to be any particular circumstance or something that they've done wrong.
No.
It just happens to be, like you said, we lose our job, we become ill, we don't have insurance, we can't pay off the mortgage. There's so many scenarios, and every one of us could be exposed to that at any one given time. True?
There's family relationship breakdown.
Yeah.
You're in a couple, you're renting a property for a lot of money, and your relationship splits up. The person who is left in the property can no longer afford that property, and that's what we have, people approaching us at that time. And people also say, but the government gives them money, why do they need to be on the street or sleep on the street? And as you pointed out, their income sometimes is only $460 a fortnight. We know a gentleman is a single man and he's got $420 a fortnight is what he gets. You try to find a property that you can rent for that amount of money, and you can't, as well as pay for your electricity, your food and all those. So we sit here every day assisting people looking for properties, and people even looking for 1-bedroom properties. If we find a 1-bedroom property now for $180, we go, woohoo, here's something that's, but if you've only got a $400 and something income, how is that going to work out? Definitely going to be falling short. Okay, so what we've done, guys, is that we've partnered up, and I'm really excited about this because Shaz's awesome organisation, Neeta Feed, and then together with the Homeless Hub, is a way that, like Julie said, there's 1,500 odd people, families, women, children, and particularly the children. I've got 3 kids, and I just can't imagine being in a scenario where this would happen to me and having to be in this scenario. So they don't only need food, but they also need shelter, they also need things like services. The Homeless Hub here does a wonderful job of allowing them to get on the internet, make applications and all those sorts of things. So we've set a huge task for ourselves where we're going to set about trying to feed and accommodate every single one of those homeless
this winter. And to do that, because we're supplying food parcels and all those sorts of things, we need $50,000 to do that. We've set up a GoFundMe page and all the links are within this video. So we want to reach out to the community now to share this message with as many people as you possibly can. But more importantly, actually donate. You know, I think that I worked it out myself, because I'm not bragging here, but on my Facebook page, you know, I've got, say, 1,800 friends or 1,900 friends. Now, if they all put in just $25 each, we'd have the 50,000 tomorrow. The reality is that not everyone's going to donate, but I just want to put my heart out to everyone and say, listen, if you were in this scenario, if this were your children, if it was a family member, you'd be reaching pretty deep into your pocket, but we don't actually have to reach that deep. So share this video with all your friends and family. Please get behind this and support Shaz and Julie. This is a wonderful, wonderful cause, and it's going to really warm the hearts of a lot of people in the Illawarra. Shaz, thank you so much for coming on the show. And Julie, this is an absolute pleasure and one of my best Wollongong TV interviews yet. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Thanks.
There you go, Adrian here for Wollongong TV. See you on the next show.